is it possible for you to speak into the mic? I need you to answer questions later. So this will be a sound check. Can you help me with that, please?
Yeah, I can hear.
Do you see the message that I write? For the rest of the people, can you please talk so that I can hear your voice? I need you to be answering questions for everybody to know what you're thinking. I need you to speak into the mic. Please.
Hi.
And I need you to show me your face, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Ernest. Thank you very much. Mary, is that all?
One more.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're waiting for
Hi.
Aiden? Aiden, is it?
You can start now.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, this is thank you for showing me your face, and thank you for showing face by showing me your face. Okay, right. I don't know what kind of lessons you've been through, but for me, I need a lot of interaction. I need to be entertained. So your job is to interact with me and speak up when I ask you to answer questions. Is it okay? Can, right? All right. So you see the list I wrote there. Okay, right. We'll go around the room. Everybody will have a chance to speak up. Okay, right. Okay, right. So let's try. Right. Let's see now in my list. Yes, Mr. Hayden Tan. I don't see you in the list. Let me just put you down. Are you using somebody's
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't see a Tan here. Okay, never mind. And Hayden Tan, could you please help me answer the questions, please?
Okay. I'm Hayden. I'm from EJC, and my CCA is media.
What do you do at media?
Set up like sound systems and lights and stuff.
Okay. Okay.
How do you want me to answer question D? Like how I feel about econs, or
Econs is?
Econs is, I don't know, like a subject. Yes.
Wow. Well, there's no it's all right. There's probably you should insert a adjective rather than a noun.
Okay, econs is neutral to me.
Neutral to you.
Yes.
So you're here to learn something neutral to you? I
Yes.
think on a beautiful Monday afternoon to learn something neutral?
Yes.
I see. All right. Go on, please.
Commerce was okay, I guess. And one thing I want to know more about market structure is just like, I don't know, have a better understanding. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
One thing I want to know is to have a better understanding.
Yeah.
I'm sure you work harder than this for your PW, right? What do you learn from? What's the one thing that you want to learn from your project? Oh, I just want to have a better understanding. All right. Anyway, thanks for trying. All right, Mr. Jun Rong. Yes, could you help me with this, please? Jun Rong is from Diamond High. That's right. Okay, go on, please.
Hi, I'm Jinron. I'm from DHS, and
Yes.
my CCA is Culinary Club.
Wow, really? What do you do?
I guess you cook and bake stuff.
Oh, yes. But what's the latest project that you have done?
We haven't had lessons in a long time, but I guess cookies and stuff.
I see. Okay. Uh-huh.
And then econs is interesting, I guess.
Really? Oh wow. Okay. And then
promos was disappointing, I guess.
mm.
And then one thing
who's the teacher from Diamond High?
My teacher.
Yeah.
Miss Linda Teo. I think.
Oh, she's my colleague. Yay! Isn't she wonderful? Okay.
One thing I want to know about market structure from this workshop is, I guess, how to answer questions more effectively.
And what do you struggle with?
I guess using the graphs to answer the question.
Okay, graph drawing. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hi, Miss Zheng Xian. Yes, Zheng Xian is Hua Chong. Okay.
Hi, I'm Zheng Xian. I'm from HCI.
Yes.
My CCA is Studio Ardent.
Is what?
Studio Ardent.
Video Ardent.
Studio Ardent.
All right, I'm an old person. It's all right.
It's like AV, something like that.
AV. Okay.
Then econs is quite cool. Promos was not great.
Econs is quite what?
It's quite cool.
It's quite cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Promos was not great.
Not great. Yes.
And one thing I want to know about market structure would be like how to answer questions more effectively.
Sounds derivative, isn't it? Anything more specific?
Like
Is there any content issue that you want to know?
Like because my like strongest one is market failure.
I see.
So market structure was like quite like slightly confusing, I guess.
It's confusing. What aspects of it is confusing?
Like I guess like oligopoly was a bit confusing.
Oligopoly. Okay. What's so confusing? Can you tell me more?
Like the different policies and stuff. Policy? Like the cartel structure, etc.
No need lah. Got so difficult man. Ask about cartel man.
Huh? Notes got right.
I know lah, but doesn't mean everything also must know ma. Correct, right?
Yeah.
No need lah. Cartel so cheap. No need lah. Only never come out before lah. Cartel once in 20 years maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Like it was like the structures was very like confusing. Yeah.
Structure. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Zheng Rong, and the information. Hi, Mr. Ernest.
Hi, I'm Ernest from JPJC. My CCA is Green Club, which is about gardening. Econs is hard.
Gardening?
It was difficult. I want to know more about how to do evaluation better.
Sorry. Your CCA is gardening?
Yeah.
Wow, very good. We have one very good. Gardening. All right. And school is JPJC. Okay, can. And promo was difficult. Okay. And what's troubling you? What's the reason why you want to be here?
Like, I want to learn how to do evaluation better.
Evaluation, like what?
Like the conclusion paragraph.
Okay. Is there any specific content issue that you are concerned about?
Market structure only.
Yes, but anything that it's like, oh yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
Oh, really? Content is okay? Oh, we'll find out, huh? We'll find out. Okay, very good. Hi, Mr. Brandon.
Oh, hello. Sorry, my computer has some problems.
Okay.
Oh,
But are you able to speak into the mic and help me answer the questions, please?
can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
I'm from JPJC, and my CCA is drama.
Drama?
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Econs is a difficult subject for me.
Okay.
I got exactly 50 out of 100.
50 or 100, congratulations.
Uh,
I think that's wonderful by Dharma High standards. Would you agree? That's very, very good. Are you unhappy with the 50?
well, it's not that great, is it?
I don't know, because every school have different benchmarks, right? So for some schools, like Dharma High, I think if you get a C, that's very, very good. But in RI, C is not fantastic. So I don't know. It depends on how where your teachers pitch the standards lah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So maybe you are too harsh on yourself. 50 is not that bad, maybe. But anyway, is there anything specific that you want to me to talk about?
Oh, okay, I think this is a good place to start because I want to learn how to apply all those interesting concepts like product differentiation as well as contestability.
Different contestability. Okay. Product differentiation. Okay. Where are you? Okay. Product. All right. Is there anybody else that I missed out? Who is not here? We have a Hayden. That's why we have a Brandon. Jun Kang, are you here in the room, Jun Kang? No. Okay. And then I'm supposed to see a Hui En too is not here. Okay, Jun Kang and Hui En is not here. Product differentiation and contestability. All right. So first check. Okay, so are we able to access the materials online? Okay, right. So I don't know I don't know what's your standard and don't know why we are here. It's right. So you can see it's a list of questions. Okay, so we have a good 5 hours to kill. And there's 2 little case studies. It's all right. And then the 14 essay questions. Okay, so I will not go through everything. All right, depends on how fast we go. And so the first few questions is just checking understanding and whether we are able to draw diagrams. Okay, right. So market structure involves quite a bit of diagrams. Can I ask you to prepare some paper with you? Do you have some paper? Okay, right. Later, I'll ask you to draw the diagrams and your job is to do a quick sketch and then show it to me in front of the camera to see whether it's correct. How about that? Okay, right. Do you have paper? Okay, right. And pen and paper. All right. So let's start. Why don't I do this? So we will look at the question. It's all right. Give you a few minutes to think about that. All right. And then we will go through it together. Are you able to see? Am I sharing? Let me just see. All right. Hold on, please. This is okay. Where are we? All right. Question number 1. So 1 and 2 and maybe even 3 is all right. There will be warm-up questions. So and then we'll pump the difficult ones. Okay, right? Let's try number 1. So how it will work is that I don't need you to copy anything. It's all right. Everything is all typed out. It's all right. So we'll be go through the answers, and answers will be, once we go through that after the session, it will be found inside the folder. Okay, right. And answers are quite extensive. Okay, right. There's filled with colors and diagrams. Okay, you get to see them very soon. Right? But before that, let's try a little bit. Okay, right, and see whether we can answer them. Please keep your cameras on if possible. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me just whip out the answers to that. All right, why don't we start with, let me start with, who is that? Right, 1, 2, 3. Brandon, yes. Oh, no. Okay, Brandon, yes. Could you like to tell me what would you do?
For question 1.
Am I showing question 1? Yeah. Okay, go on, please.
Okay. Question 1. I will definitely compare aspects like the number of sellers in the market, the role of barrier to entry,
Very good.
and also things like whether there's perfect information. Yeah.
Right. So when you're asked to compare the market structures, okay, right, I'll do 3 levels of comparison. Okay, right. One is what they call basic characteristics. Okay, right. Basic characteristics. 2 is their performance. Okay, right, and 3 will be, is that right? Whether they are desirable or not, which we'll do later. Okay, right. But yes, the basic characteristics, Mr. Brandon, what are the 4 of them? One is
number of producers.
That's right, number of firms, that's number 1, that's great. Okay, so let's start with that, number of firms, and we are saying, they are saying, asking to compare, right? So when you're asked to compare, it's good to show comparison words, isn't it? So number of firms is 1. For NPC, can you give me an example of NPC, please?
Hawker stalls.
That's right, hawker stores. Okay, so number of firms will be?
Many.
Many, that's right, and many...
Number of small buyers.
That's right, many small, that's correct. It's all right. For oligopolies, what are the 2 adjectives that's usually associated with oligopolies?
High concentration ratio.
Right, that's right. Okay, but if you want to describe the firms, what are the 2 adjectives? Number is?
Dominant.
That's right, few dominant firms will be a good answer. That's correct. There you see that, right? The second characteristics will be type of products. Type of products, correct, right? Okay, so Mr. Brandon, can you tell me what is the type of product? And before that, can you give me an example of oligopolies, please?
Telcos.
That's right, telcos is a very, very good example. That's right. And so type of products, can you tell me what is the characteristics of MPC and the type of products?
In MPC, there will be a slightly differentiated.
That's right, slightly differentiated. Okay, and from there, can you pump econs concept to tell me what is the nature of the product if they are slightly different?
Nature of the product if they are slightly different.
And so what are they? They are...
You want to talk about the elasticity of demand? Or
that's right. Very, very good. Your content is very strong. Okay, go on. Tell me something about elasticities, please.
They are somewhat elastic, but not entirely inelastic.
Right. So they are slightly different. So they are close substitutes. Is it okay?
Okay.
Okay, right. They are close substitutes. If you're talking about PED, what is the value of PED if they are close substitutes?
Rather, PED if they are close substitutes. Rather close to 0.
Let's try again. Is that right? If they are close substitutes, PED value is big or PED value is small?
Small, right? Oh, it's big. I forgot.
Let's try. Okay, PED is the measurement of responsiveness, right?
Okay.
So if they are price elastic or price inelastic, so you're saying they're price elastic. So when you raise prices, will the quantity demanded change a bit or change a lot?
Change a lot.
Change a lot. So if you change a lot, then the degree of responsiveness is high or low?
Greater than 1.
Correct, right? So that's probably how you can deduce it, is that right? Without resorting to too much memory work. Okay, so yes, PED is bigger than 1, isn't it? But if they're close substitutes, let's try again. What happens to their XED value? Cross elasticity of demand. What happens to the XED value?
If they are close substitutes, then the XED value will be price and demand will. XED value will be positive.
Very good, positive because they are substitutes. Excellent. And then?
And if they are close substitutes, then it will be greater than 1.
Good for you. That's correct. Okay, right. Let's switch over to oligopolies. What will happen to oligopolies type of product?
oligopolies, I'm not too sure if it's homogeneous or differentiated.
All right, so that is correct, right? Because for oligopolies, there is no distinct definition what type of products they are producing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're mentioning telcos earlier, can you tell me whether telcos are close substitutes or not close?
I think they are rather close substitutes.
That's right, they are rather close substitutes, all right? Other examples would be petrol kiosks. They also sell similar things, okay, right? But can you give me an example of oligopolies that are selling slightly quite different products?
Slightly different products.
They can be quite different, even though they are generally regarded as oligopolies. Can you tell me one classic example of that, please? That is very related to telcos.
Oh, could it be like Samsung phones and Apple phones?
Yes, exactly. It's all right. And so those will be very close to home. It's all right. And there are two classic examples of how oligopolies is not really defined by the type of products, it's all right, like that they are producing. Okay, right? Very good. Can you see the answer now? So sorry, this is some room that I'm not very familiar with. Okay, is the answer there? Can you see the answer moving? Okay, great. So there we are, number of firms and type of products. Okay, right? And we are writing compare. Okay, right? It should be 1, 2, 1, 2. It's all right, rather than 1, 2, 3, 4. So you do this way rather than do vertically. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, right? Third idea, level of information is okay, it's all right, but it's not the most important of ideas, but some teachers expect it to be there, right? So level of imperfect information, for NPC and oligopolies, there's some degree of imperfect information. Of course, for oligopolies, it is much higher, is all right, than NPC. But this one you can't elaborate too much. But just for fun only, later we'll talk about something called price discrimination, for example, right? And this is one reason why oligopolies can do price discrimination, partially because the consumers are not too aware, is all right, of different prices or different products out there. It's all right. But for NPC, they're pretty sure, is all right, that there's a price difference, and they will react accordingly. But this one, just to please your teachers, it's all right, just put it there. How about that? Okay, right? So that's your third idea, level of competition, level of imperfection. Okay, right? But of course, the most important one is BTE. Let's have a quick revision. BTE, okay? Mr. Jun Rong, is all right. Can you tell me something about BTE, please?
I think the three types: structural, strategic, and statutory.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah. So for oligopolies, the BTs are quite high because can be natural based on the industry that they are in, or because of
so what's
how big.
natural? So what's natural?
Say like the industry is very high capital involved, then
that's right. And so if you want to elaborate a little bit, if there's telcos, what is the capital involved for producing telcos?
The towers, the signal towers that you need to be constructed.
That's right. In general, those signal towers, etc., will be known as INFRAS.
Infrastructure.
Excellent. So infrastructure, nice word to punch. Infrastructure such as infrastructure tower. And so what if you require a lot of capital? Why is that barriers to entry?
Because if a firm wants to enter the market, then they need to have a lot of initial investment, I guess. That's
right. What is the sexy word for money to start business that start with C?
Capital.
Very good. It's all right. High startup costs require them to have a lot of capital to spend on infrastructure such as blah, 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 blah. Excellent. What might be the another natural barriers to entry? For example, if you need smartphones, for example, it's all right. So what might be one barriers to entry that can be parked under natural?
I'm not too sure about this one.
And they need very high level of
expertise
and high state of
technology.
And thank you very much. There could be possible answers. It's all right. Yes. So the firms to start business, you need capital, you need high levels of expertise, you need high state of technology. Okay, right? Passing on to Zheng Xian. Other than the fact that you need to spend, what might be one less talked about, but somehow Hua Chong likes to set this quite often in the exam, we don't know why. What might be another barriers to entry that can also be natural?
Wait, I don't think like Hwa Chong got differentiate the
Oh, so what is another form of barriers to entry other than startup costs?
brand loyalty.
Maybe something about one concept that we will talk about many times. All right, there's some, especially when the firm is very large. Why would the large firms be able to successfully prevent firms from coming in?
iOS.
Excellent, iOS, very good. Okay, right. So Jim, that will be part under your natural. Can you say a few words on why iOS will be a barrier to entry?
Cost when there is like greater product, then you can split the startup cost like.
Okay, let's tighten our language a little bit, right? So that later we are all considering language. iOS, if you are a large firm, this is some curve. What curve is this?
RAC.
RAC, that's right. So if the firm is very large, they are producing at a very large SCAL. E S C A L E scale. That's right. They're produced at a very large scale, isn't it? And so on the LRAC, where are they?
Is it at the bottom?
Where's the bottom? What is the bottom? That means where? How do you tell me it's the bottom?
Is it like the minimum point?
That's right. It's called the.
Where is effective or something?
MES, correct? The minimum point is MES. Just want to make sure that everybody's okay, right? Operating close to MES. But if you're very small or you just want to enter the market, right? Your market share is very small, correct? So you're producing at a much smaller SCALE. That's right. And on the LRAC, where are you?
Yeah, not at the MES.
That's right. You're further away from the
MES.
That's right. And okay, right. And what happens to your average cost?
Your average cost increases.
It's high. It's compared to the firms that are already inside the market. What are they called?
The firms that
already in the market. You correct, you're right, Jinchong. MBENT.
Incumbent firm.
That's right. Okay, right. The average cost is much higher than the incumbent firms. Okay, right? So why can't they enter the market?
Because they have to like there's a lot of reasons why.
They cannot be as price competitive compared to the incumbent firms. Do you understand what I'm talking about? And therefore they cannot enter. Okay, let's start from the top. It's all right. Another form of barriers entry is IEOS. Full stop. Okay, the floor is yours, Zheng Xian. Please explain to me.
So another form is IEOS. So when there are like current firms, like if it's a firm that has a very big production, then their average cost will be much lower than that.
Because smaller firms. Technicalities, they are producing in a much larger
scale,
correct, right? Operating very close to the
MES.
Okay, right. And so, but in comparison, new firms will produce at a much smaller.
They produce at a much smaller AC.
Scale is all right. Scale is an important word, right? So they are less able to enjoy IEOS, such as
like is it
technical marketing, then you just throw a bit, right? Just a piece of picture, okay, right? So their average cost is much.
Their average cost is much higher.
And they find it difficult to enter the market because they cannot be as priced.
They cannot compete with the
in terms of what? Price. Like that. Okay, right. Then finish already. Like that. Strong answers. Okay, no. The problem with most people when they explain it is right. It's always that they list. Okay, they say, startup cost. Okay, the technology. Okay, but what does it mean? Is that right? So for startup cost, the answer is what? The smaller firms may not be able to get the CAPITAL. Okay, right? They may not be able to get capital, and smaller firms do not have IUS, so they cannot be as price competitive, making it difficult for them to enter the industry. How about that? Okay, right? For the rest of them, these are all natural. Why are they called natural? Because it belongs to the characteristics of the industry. Okay, right? Second idea is what some schools call it strategic. That means it's something that the incumbent firms can do to prevent new firms from coming in. Okay, right? So, Mr. Hayden, can you tell me what can firms do to prevent new firms from coming in?
Predatory pricing.
That's one possible answer. It's all right, but that's the technically wrong answer. It's all right. Predatory pricing is when you lower the price, okay, right, to drive out competitors. Drive out is predatory. Prevent is limit pricing. Okay, right? The teacher was circle. Okay, right? But all it means is the same thing. Now, again, Hayden, what is limit pricing?
You put the price below market value, market equilibrium, so to deter competitors from entering the market.
No, okay, right. That's wrong on technical terms. It's all right. For market structure, there is no market equilibrium. A market equilibrium is a demand and supply technicality when demand meets supply, isn't it? Okay, right, but it's all right. For market structure, there's no such thing called market equilibrium. There's no market at all. It's all right, because the diagram that you draw, ARMR, is representing a single firm's perspective. Okay, right. But yes, you're right. They are going to lower the price. Can I make it more technical to you? They lower the price below profit maximizing level at MC equals to MR. That sounds a bit more technical. Don't worry, all of this will be inside, okay, right? You just listen, is all right, and refine your writing a little bit. All this will be okay. So this is how long the answers will be. Is all right. So don't worry, it's all right, with all the diagrams thrown in. Okay, so you will all have the materials. I just want you to verbalize and be a bit more aware of your mistakes. Okay, right? So you're gonna lower it below MC equals to MR. Is all right. So that's what? What's the purpose? See, that's the problem. Okay, from my perspective, is you understand the idea, is all right, but we find it difficult to explain it. Is all right. So why do you want to lower down the price?
Disincentivize.
Right, that's a good answer. But why would it de-incentivize?
Because firms are profit driven. So if there's no profit to be earned, they will not enter the market.
Okay, fine. So you go to lower start from top. One way is to do limit pricing. What does it mean? Lower price below MC equals to MR, correct? So the incumbent firms is voluntarily earning less super normal profits. Okay, right? And then this gives, is all right, the new firms less incentive to enter. How about that? There's no exact point where the limit pricing is. For me, it's to keep it simple. It's all right. I will write the following, which will be inside the answer. Don't worry. I will say lower the price to a point, for example, AC equals to AR. Okay, why AC equals to AR? This firm is voluntarily earning normal profits. Okay, and we understand theoretically, new firms want to enter because barriers entry is low enough, plus the incumbent firms are earning super normal profits, correct, right? And so if the incumbent firms are voluntarily earning normal profits, then this gives, is all right, the new firms less incentive to enter. Is this all right? That's one way of answering it. Okay, right? Another way of answering it is the same thing. It's all right, start by saying what they'll produce at MC equals MR, right? So the incumbent firms are earning normal profits. Then you use whatever Zheng Xian said earlier. For the new firms, much because they are what? Producing at a much smaller scale. Correct? So the average cost is much higher. Do you understand? So at the price that you are charging, they will be earning sub-normal profits, right? And they'll find it difficult to enter. That might be a strong answer. Okay, so the problem with not problem now, right? But it's essay writing is all right. So sometimes elaboration is important, much as you know the concept is all right. It's about verbalizing is all right, and putting in some concrete terms that the teacher can understand and explaining rigorously. Okay, right? So I'm glad we understand the idea, but we need to be a bit more rigorous in our explanation. So start from the top. One is limit pricing. Incumbent firms lower the price where below profit maximizing at M equals to MR to a point, for example, AC equals to AR. Okay, by earning normal profits, okay, right, this will give the new firms less incentive to enter. Furthermore, it's all right, new firms will have less ability to enjoy IEOS because they're producing at such a small scale, okay, right, with high average cost higher. At that price, they are earning sub-normal profits. It's all right, again, giving new firms less incentive to enter. Full stop. Then that will be a very, very strong paragraph. Do you understand ideas? Again, using simple words, okay, right, but the presentation is much more impressive. Okay, right, so that's what we need to work on a little bit. Okay, right, but more of that later. Okay, so one is limit pricing, that's correct. Mr. Jin Kang, is it? Jin Kang is from Diamond High. Jin Kang from Diamond High. So right, Jin Kang, can you tell me who's your econs tutor from Diamond High, please?
My tutor from Diamond High.
Yes.
Miss Linda Teo.
Oh, yay! She's my ex-colleague. I'm very happy. That's right. And can you tell me something that troubles you for market structure, please?
I understand the note, but when I go into the exam, when I write, I cannot get a mark.
The question for Diamond High will be process innovation, something about innovation. Is it the best strategy or something like that?
Something like that.
Right, and then the 2A will be the pricing behavior, isn't it, of oligopoly, something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have trouble with that? Is that a question that you do?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a short while. Okay, right, but let's just do some warm up first. Okay, right, very good. So Brandon, is right. That's now that well, it's related to the 2A, isn't it? Can you tell me, other than limit pricing, what might be a simpler way of explaining how firms can prevent new firms from entering, other than limit pricing, which is a lot of words? Is all right. What is a more intuitive answer? Yes, Jin Kang, is that right? What is the oligopolies behavior to prevent new firms from coming? Can you elaborate for me, please?
Oligopoly, is it?
What can they do? What did Apple do to prevent new firms from coming in, or prevent Xiaomi from eating too much into its market share?
R&D.
That's right. Okay, right. Go on. R&D is a very, very broad term. Is right. Can we make it a bit tighter? R&D such as
is it like I have to say dynamic efficiency? Like,
no, again, okay, right. What is that? Okay, so we agree the concept is correct, right? We agree the concept is correct, okay? But when do you use the word dynamic efficiency is when you are evaluating or explaining the desirability of oligopolies, yes? Efficiency is not from the firm's perspective. Efficiency is from the society's perspective. Okay, right? The oligopoly do not aim to be dynamic efficient. Right? It's their behavior that makes them dynamic efficient, right? Is right. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, so what would they do? Yes, they will do R&D. And for example, what can they do? Go on, please. Product what?
Innovation.
All right, product innovation. That's a good term to use. Is right. It's not dynamic efficiency. Okay, right? And so what if they do product innovation? For example, what did Apple do?
They will attract consumers away from.
All right. I will not see you in the future, but for market structure, the important idea is always examples. Okay, examples. Okay, right? And look around you, it's all right. I always recommend very, very simple things. They look around. What did Apple do, for example? That is unique. What does Samsung do that is unique? I think Samsung likes origami.
I'm not very sure.
Well, you should be sure now. It's all right. What did Samsung do? They can make their phone twist and turn. Foldable phones, right? Samsung came up with foldable phones. Okay, right? Maybe, right? What did Apple come up with? They talk to you when you're lonely at night.
It is Siri.
Siri, yes, it's all right. Voice recognition functions. How about that? It's all right. To set it apart, it's all right. And Samsung come up with foldable phones. Can you remember this for me? Okay, right. And then Linda will be very good. Got see a real life application of stuff. Okay, right. If you don't like, it's all right. There's this funny little products by this UK firm that start with D, Y, S, O. I finished spelling already. D, Y, S, O, N. Jun Kang.
Yeah.
What brand is that?
Dyson.
Dyson do what?
I thought it's just the vacuum cleaner thing.
Just a vacuum cleaner? Dyson vacuum cleaner is different, okay? You know how expensive they are? One stupid vacuum cleaner is $625. You can attend 10 lessons of macro structure and have $25 left for lunch. For one stupid stick. What's the unique thing about Dyson vacuum cleaner?
It has multiple functions.
No, I don't think it's a multiple function. What, can dry your hair, is it? No. The Dyson is what? Don't have CORD. Don't have BAG. Okay, no, that one is revolutionary product. Dyson's vacuum cleaner is backless and cordless. Dyson also comes with fan. Their fan comes out without what?
Blade.
Yes, like that lah. Then Linda think, wow, really? That's right, because Linda just recently bought one. Okay, like she'll be quite pleased. It's alright. You agree with her choice of buying Dyson product. Okay, right? This is my product differentiation. Can you remember for me? What did Apple do? Better voice and facial recognition function. Samsung comes out with new designs such as foldable phones. How about that? Dyson come up with products such as bladeless fans and cordless vacuum cleaners. Okay, now, Jin Kang, so why is that able to prevent new phones from coming in?
Because they attract consumers away from other companies.
No, we are talking about barriers to entry, correct? Correct. So how would that doing product innovation prevent new firms from coming in? Must use technical words, okay? Jin Kang, wow, this phone are so nice, okay, right? And if Xiaomi wants to come in, then you say, no, because the product is very what?
Very
unique and has few close
substitutes.
Like that. So consumers are less likely to
buy from Xiaomi.
Switch away, correct, right? To new like that. So new firms find it difficult to enter the market. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, right? I must answer the question, prevent them from coming in. Okay, right? Furthermore, Jin Kang is all right. Doing this R&D and product innovation is very, very
costly.
Is that right? And new firms may not have the capital or the technology. Is it all right? 可以吗? To duplicate your R&D efforts. Wow, like that, Linda quite happy.
Okay.
Okay, 要解释. Okay, and the problem with the notes is that all this 解释 is not inside. Okay, can right. Other than so Hayden is all right. The price pricing one, right? That one write later. This one easier, ma. Don't write the difficult one. There's sure a lot of mistake one. The third one is what? This is product differentiation, right? Product differentiation got two types. One is make your product unique. The other one is what? Do advertisement. Correct, right? I'm Mr. Ernest. Why they advertise? Tell me something. Right, nice. Ernest, come. Peng, is that? What is peng in Chinese?
Like a non-price competition.
What is peng in Chinese? Peng,
Oh, advertising is for.
是没有回答我的问题。Answer the question. What is peng in Chinese?
Fun.
Peng. Okay, fine. Okay. What is advertisement? Okay, tell me more, please. Elaborate.
Is to differentiate their products.
DYDX, is it? Differentiate. How to differentiate?
Make it more unique.
How to make it more unique? Elaboration. How to advertise? Say nice. How to advertise?
Using the media.
Like that. Social media such as who? What?
Such as social media and on television.
Television. Wow, you're very traditional. Television, is it? They employ who? They engage who to help them be their what? Say nice, please. They engage who? Kim Kardashian. No lah. Just general lah. Who do they employ? Who do they engage?
They engage famous figures.
Famous people. What is the famous people that start with CELE?
Celebrity.
Like that. Is that right? As their what? 代言人。SPOKES person. Ernest, you go to San Francisco already? What? Spokesman?
Sorry?
They engage celebrities as their spokes. What?
Their spokesperson.
Spokesperson, nice. Okay, right? So what if you engage spokesperson, a celebrity as spokesperson, and you go to a social media such as blah, blah, blah? What will happen to, why would that be a barrier to entry? They change the consumers what?
Yeah, it changes their mindset.
Very good, mindset. Okay, now change their mindset or change the way they see things. Change their
preferences.
Perception. Is that all right of the product? Okay, now and develop. Oh, I must buy Apple. Develop what?
Brand loyalty.
Very good. Develop brand loyalty. Correct, right? And when they change your perception, the newcomers will be seen as deemed as very poor.
Poor substitute.
Very good. Okay, right? And the consumers are less likely to switch over. Very good. Furthermore, advertisements is very, very
costly.
I like that lah. Okay, and especially the new smaller firms may not afford the
capital.
Like that. 可以吗？这个是 elaboration. Okay, right? I don't need to write so many, but whatever you choose, you must elaborate. You cannot list. Understand or not? If you say branding, then the teacher will say so. Okay, the answer is correct, but for essay writing, you must explain it rigorously. 可以不可以呀？ So first class is natural. Natural 的3个点是start out cost, technology, and IEOS. Okay, right? Second lump is what the firms will do to prevent new firms from coming in. Hayden says pricing strategy. Hayden, is it limit or predatory pricing?
Limit.
Limit. Okay, right? Later chase out is predatory. Okay, right? Second answer is, according to Jin Kang, is product differentiation ... do R&D. Okay, right? Third answer is Ernest product differentiation ... advertisements. 可以吗 ？Okay. Fourth, third answer 就是俊荣 say statutory, correct, right? 俊荣 can you tell me sometimes the difficulty of entering is because of government policies, correct, right? Can you name me a few? The simplest one is LIC.
Licenses.
Licenses is one possible answer, correct, right? Okay. Just can you name me one organization is alright that give licenses to let's say MRT. Later we'll use this organization many times. Okay, right? Few organizations is good to know for market structure. Okay, let me just share with you. Okay, right? The one that prevents people from abusing the market power is alright. Later, the first organization is called CCCS. Have you heard of it before? CCCS. Okay, right? Let me just. Okay, I didn't prepare this, but let me just do a quick Google. All right, can we see now? This is a good organization. Remember? Can we remember this? CCCS. Okay, now what is their role? Anything that the government thinks is irregular, they will prevent. So this one is very easy to use. Okay, now why is it easy to use? When you say, oh, should the firm do merger? Oh, it depends on whether CCCS will approve or not. Okay, now whether market dominance is a good or bad thing? Oh, depends on whether there's regulation by CCCS. Okay, so this one is quite a useful organization to remember for market structure. CCCS. Okay, right? They are the regulators of firms. Can? Okay, right? More specific ones, all right, will be people such as, don't worry, all these will be in the found in the answer. Okay, if you read one time, you. Okay, now the second one is PTC. Can see PTC? PTC, right? Public Transport Council. Okay, now supposing the answer, the question is, oh, should the government be concerned about the market dominance of SMRT? Correct? Then your answer is, oh, it depends on whether there's regulation by PTC. Okay, right? Why is it that the fares charged by SMRT, SBS is so low? Oh, because there's price regulation by PTC. Okay, right? Will monopolies always charge high prices? No, if there's government intervention such as PTC. Okay, right? Damn useful. Okay, like that must know some information. You cannot, the notes don't have one. This one must go and remember. Understand? So to remember, what did we learn today already? Product innovation. Know the correct answer. Dyson will do this, Samsung will do that, Apple will do this. Okay, right? Can understand? Okay, and then what did we learn just now? The advertisements, right? Then what's the usual things? Tap onto social media, employ celebrities as spokesperson. This will change their what? Mindsets. New substitutes will be deemed as poor alternatives. Likelihood of consumer switching over will be limited, like that. Oh, good answer. Okay, then all these, the pump. So the difficulty about market structure is the answer, right? Because you're explaining firm behavior, right? It's always good to know a few examples. Everything also got one example. Later, the limit pricing also got example. Hayden, what is the example of limit pricing? Don't know, right? Okay, that's my job. Okay, right? Limit pricing, for example, just now we talk about telco, right? How many telcos do we have, children? Long time ago, there's only Singtel. Okay, then comes M1, then comes StarHub. Okay, so for the longest time, these three firms dominate the telco sectors. Okay, but then once upon a time in 2016, is that right? Singapore decided to liberalize, is that right? Our telcos. Okay, there's a fourth telco was given the license to enter. Haven't come in yet, is that right? They only say we have awarded the license to our fourth telco. Who's the fourth telco? Anybody knows? TPG. TPG, OK， 它长这个样子 ，OK， right, let me show you TPG. Sorry. OK, TPG, can see? OK, they just announced that TPG may enter, right? What is the behavior of the remaining three incumbent telcos? This TPG is coming in, okay, right? The three telcos immediately lower the price. Okay, right? Can understand that? Why do they want to lower the price? To make it more difficult for TPG to enter, correct, right? So that is an example of limit pricing. Okay, right? So you pump the example, wow, very good. No example, so boring. Okay, right? And teachers are suckers for examples. Understand? That is the one surefire way of doing well for market structure lah. Along with explain rigorously. Can? Okay, so why is the MPC have a limited barriers to entry? First, the startup cost is very low. Okay, now hawkers, right? The cooking techniques easy to pick up. Okay, right? Utensils is alright, or haircut, right? Scissors lah, okay, not shavers lah, okay, right? These are very cheap and affordable, so the capital required is very low, okay, right? And new firms can easily afford the capital. How about that? And two, it's easy to get the licenses, okay, to start operation. So barriers to entry is lower. Can? Okay, the one thing that Junro mentioned was licensing, is alright. But another one that will have a bit more significance is alright, is starting with P. Zheng Xian, can you tell me what is one barrier to entry that start with P that can that comes from the government's behavior?
Is it wait?
PATENT.
Or patent.
Same is patent, upper patent.
It's like the right for one company to hold something like
which sector is closely associated with patents?
science and development.
Science
and tech.
PHARMA.
Pharmaceutical.
Like that. Is that right? Why the government so naughty?
Is to incentivize people to
firms to do more.
Firms to R&D.
Okay, right. And what is the purpose of the patents? Is to make research findings, right? Okay, right. What's the later? Don't worry, all these are in the answers. Don't worry, I got 14 answers. I show you in case you scared and feel insecure. Okay, right. Can you see my screen? Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 14. All of them is a very long answer. So don't worry, all you can read yourself. Okay, right? I now must engage you first. Okay, I will not give you all 14, depending on how much we finish. But they're all available in the website, that Google, that Mary sent you just now. Okay, right? But anyway, so in case you say, so much thing to copy, no copying. Okay, in my class, there's no copying. Everything is typed out nice. So you just listen, can already. Okay, right? Anyway, where was I? Patents, right? Because research finding, right? Zheng Xian, what's the word that means, right? For market failure, since it's your favorite topic, okay, right? That you find out already, right? That people can use it. You cannot prevent people from using it. What is that called?
Right?
No. What is that market failure term that means you cannot prevent people from using it?
The public good.
I know. That's the public correct. You're in the right topic. What's the adjective that means that our research findings can be used by everybody? You cannot prevent them from using it. Non-something. Non-X.
Oh, non-excludable.
And you use, I use, everybody use, it will not finish. What I say call again?
Non-rivalry.
That's right. So research findings sometimes can be argued as a public good, is that because it's non-rival, non-excludable. And so the patents is to prevent, to make research findings
Make research findings exclusive.
where excluded. No, exclusive is a wrong term to use. Exclusive is when you get married to your husband and you are exclusive. It's that one wrong term to use is excludable. Okay, right? To make the research finding excludable. Okay, right? And so that the firms have more incentive. But what is the outcome of patents is that while you encourage the firm, right, to do R&D, right, you're actually increasing the barriers to entry, right? And other firms find it difficult to operate it. Okay, right? So like that also got a bit of elaboration. Do not just state patents. Okay, right? You see what patents is to make research findings what excludable is alright, so that to encourage different. However, is this by giving the firms the exclusive right to operate, right? Other firms find it difficult, and I like that rather than one liner. Do you understand what I'm talking about? But of course, I overstress this idea. But can understand the importance of elaboration, the importance of examples. Correct. So the first four is alright. Will be your what? Will be your basic. Where was I? Basic way to distinguish your market structures. Right? Is alright. What's the first four again? One, number of firms. Two, type of products. Three, level of information. Very short. BTE will be the most important one. Correct. After that, you check the time, you still got a few more minutes. It's all right. You say the following, which I want to revise with you. It's all right. The second half is their behavior. Behavior. Okay, now the first four is the basic characteristics. Behavior. Now, market structure, the word behavior comes out very, very often. Okay, right? But the moment you see the word behavior, what should you do? You should circle. Okay, right? Circle, right? And two things will come out from the word. One is pricing behavior. Can see? Pricing. The other one is non-price behavior. Do you understand? Okay, that means 一个是 what price do they charge? 一个是 will they do R&D? Can you understand? Okay, right? Okay, pricing behavior. Now, what about the pricing that you need to tell me? Okay, now the basic pricing, and this is a Jun Kang, right? This is your market structure 2A, right? Pricing behavior. Okay, right? Same with the Jun Rong, right? 2A. Pricing, the first one is high, low. High, low. Understand? Do they charge high prices? Do they charge low prices? Okay, right? Of course, if you have no elaboration, the answer is oligopolies charge high prices, but the MPC charge low prices. Finish. Like that. Where is the elaboration? You're just stating. Okay, right? So how do you say oligopolies charge high prices and MPC charge low prices? How do you explain? Okay, let me ask. Okay, right. Jun Rong is how to explain high prices versus low prices.
I think like for MPC, it's not possible to charge high prices because due to close substitutability. So if you set your prices any higher than the market equilibrium.
Don't have market equilibrium. Okay, let me start. So Jun Rong, from the last thing that we see in the screen that you see, right, is BTE, right?
Yeah.
So you link from there. MPC, the BTE is
low.
So in the market, there are many
firms
producing similar things, right? Many close
competitor substitutes.
Okay, right. Can
Yeah.
Many firms close substitute. Okay, now then switch to your demand and supply. If there are many substitutes, then the PED, okay, right, of the firm is
very high.
Very big, correct, right? Because it's price elastic. This limits the firm's
Price setting ability.
Market power or price setting ability. That's right. And to elaborate, should MPC raise the price?
No.
What will happen?
Consumers will switch away to other firms.
And hence, technical words, please.
They have decreased demand.
Fall.
Quantity demand will fall and total profits. Revenue
must fall. MTP.
More than proportionally.
Like that. More than proportion, right? Leading
price,
to lower total
revenue.
Enhanced profits. Therefore, correct, for MPC at MC equals to MR, correct? How do you say that MPC charge low price in more technical terms? Teacher never say, right? Okay, so at MC equals MR, right? P price, right, is only slightly higher than MC. Must be higher, cannot be lower. P is only slightly higher to show that MPC cannot charge high prices. Let's start from top again. Barriers entry is, let's go, barrier entry is
low.
Low. Okay, right? Number of substitute is
high.
High. PED value is
also high.
High. Market price setting ability is
low.
Low. Okay, right? When they raise prices, what will happen?
Quantity demanded falls more than proportionally.
Correct. Leading to lower total revenue and profits. Therefore, MPC at MC equals MR is
low.
The P is
just above MC.
In contrast, okay, now for oligopolies, okay, now barriers entry is
high.
Number of substitute is
low.
Low. Okay, right? PED is
also low.
Low, giving the firms great
market power.
Okay, right? This gives them ability to set
high prices.
High prices. Okay, now because calling mother only falls.
Sorry?
Calling mother only falls.
Less than proportionally.
Okay, right? And therefore at MC, MRP is
much higher than MC.
Correct. Wow. That is the answer. Okay, all the answers are rigorous. Can? Okay, like that, show okay, okay, if you want, the common thing is that both of them will charge at MC equals MR. Okay, but you start from BTE, then can you see the highlighted parts? BED, BTE, okay, BTE, then P is only slightly above the MC. Okay, then the P is much higher than MC. Is it okay? So the first line of defense is high or low. Okay, second line of defense for pricing is rigidity. Okay, or whether they will engage in price competition. Okay, right? Jun Kang is right. Can you explain to me why oligopolies prices why oligopolies will not engage in price competition?
Because of the strategic dependence thing.
Simple things no need difficult.
Like what?
Your job, that is the 2A correct, right? Why would the oligopolies price be rigid?
Because if lower price, then price war is very expensive.
Like that your answer not very expensive. That's one liner. Then Linda said, no elaboration, stating, sweeping statements. Then how? Okay, Jin Kang, let's start again. It's all right. Jin Kang, look at me. The barriers entry is high or low? So BTE is very important one, correct? Barriers entry is very high, right, Jin Kang, correct? So the number of firms is what?
Very few dominant firms.
Few dominant. Okay, few dominant firms, right? From few dominant, we elaborate. It means that what? Each firm has significant
market share,
and therefore one firm's action will have a significant
impact
on other firms. Okay, not giving rise to the characteristics of what?
Price war.
Giving the characteristic of mutual interdependence. Is it okay? Then stepping on that, right? You go and tell me when the raise price, what will happen? When the lower price, what will happen? Okay, but this one must always start off with this. Okay, now Jin Kang, let's start again. Is that right? Balance, and since for oligopolies, BTE is high, right? The number of firms will be few. Each firm will have significant market share, implying that one firm's action will have significant impact on other firms, comma, giving rise to the characteristic of mutual interdependence. Okay, right? Then from there, what if the firm raise prices?
Then they may lose consumers. So
consumers will very likely
switch to other companies.
Okay, right, switch to other firms. Okay, right. But okay, let me just push a little bit. Okay, right. Switch to other firms, right? Is that right? Huh? Can I push you a little bit? Now, just now we talk about oligopolies, right? Some firms, some oligopolies they produce relatively close substitute. Some oligopolies produce quite differentiated substitutes, right? Jin Kang, can you still remember what are the oligopolies produce relatively close substitute?
Very close substitute.
Or quite close,
like oil.
Correct, right? Petrol kiosk is one example, right? Telcos is another. Okay, so that one you insert examples, especially if they're producing close substitutes, right? Such as petrol kiosks as well as telcos, right? When M1 raises prices, consumers will switch to what? Singtel and StarHub. Like that, use examples to throw. Okay, now if BP and Shell raise prices, everybody will switch to Esso and SPG, something like that. Good answer. Okay, right? And the correct will form one proportion, right? So they will not do that. Okay, right? Jin Kang, what if they lower price?
Then other firms will also lower price
to protect their
market share.
Especially again if they're producing close substitutes. This point is good because next time they ask, like, is it always true that oligopolies raise price lower price, right? This follow this theory, right? The answer is the assumption is that they're producing close substitutes. If the oligopoly are not producing close substitutes, who cares whether you raise price or lower price? For example, right? If this, do you know that there's a huge price difference between Apple and Xiaomi? Okay, people even claim that the Xiaomi camera is better than Apple, but yet Apple can charge so much more expensive, right, compared to Xiaomi. So even if the Xiaomi lower price, Apple say, I go ahead, I don't care, right, because my brand loyalty is so strong, right? You lower the price, I also don't care. Okay, even though they're technically oligopolies. Okay, so the evaluation is, right, these oligopolies must produce relatively close substitutes, right, before you say that raise price and lower prices will have that theoretical impact. Can, right? But anyway, Jin Kang, if you're producing close substitutes at the oligopoly, then what is the answer to Linda? Since what? Raising prices and lowering prices, right, all lead to what? Falling total revenue, right? Then once the oligopoly set its price, it will have less incentive to change it. Okay, giving rise to the problem of what?
Price rigidity.
Okay, right, full stop. Like that, very, very strong answers. Okay, right? Why is it that MPC do not have such characteristics, Jin Kang?
Because MPC is many sellers, but weak BTs. That's why it's differentiated good. So even if you raise prices, your market share may not decrease.
No. Okay. The difference between MPC and oligopoly is this mutual interdependence. Right? So the MPC is too small, is that right, to affect other firms. Okay, right? So even if some chicken rice store where is Diamond High or at the where's Diamond High? Mountbatten, is that decide to raise prices, is right. The chicken rice store at 6th Avenue will not feel it. Okay, so MPC do not share the characteristics of mutual interdependence because they're simply too small, to affect other firms. Okay, right? And therefore, MPC will not have the characteristics of price rigidity. Okay, for crazy schools out there, you may even push, and because of that, MPC don't mind lowering their prices. Okay, because the PED is elastic, right? And when they lower the price, the consumer will raise more than proportionally. And other firms will not follow because they are just simply too small to affect other firms. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Second line of defense for price is rigid versus not rigid. Okay, not. But if you have only time to write one issue of the price, it's definitely high-low. Okay, right? And the idea is PED, market power, more than proportionally, less than proportionally. Please use those terms. Okay, right? Oh, so it's actually quite formulaic once you get the hang of it. If not, this elusive idea of what is rigor, right, remains elusive. Okay, right? But now you understand a little bit, is that, and if you want to draw the diagram, okay, right, later we'll make you draw diagram. For the oligopoly, you draw what? Big and tall. Okay, right? And then the P and MC get very big. Okay, then the MPC is, if you don't mind drawing the same diagram, is smaller and flatter. Okay, and then get very small. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Do I have the diagram here? This is can you see? The orange one is the oligopoly, right? Then the get very big. Okay, and then the MPC is get very small. So one rigorous way of understanding high price versus low price is not the actual absolute price. It's the price relative to MC and MC equals MR. Okay, can you understand? Okay, and so that is your pricing behavior. Can you understand? Okay, and the idea is if you trace it all up, right? Trace it all up, it always stems from BTE. Okay, right? BTE determines your market power. BTE determines whether you have mutual interdependence or not, because BTE determines the number of firms that can be allowed to come in in the market. Do you understand what I'm talking about? All right. The second half, non-price. Okay, right? Non-price, right? Price finish already. Yeah, non-price. What is non-price? Will the firm do product innovation or not? Correct. Again, there are two issues. Is all right to talk about when you are talking about non-price. Okay, right? What is the two issue? For the pricing one is what? High-low versus stable. Okay, right? For the non-price, the answer, the issue that you should think about is whether one, the firm is able to do R&D. Two, whether they have the incentive to do R&D. Do you understand what I'm talking about? One is willingness, W. One is ability. Can, right? Okay. So looking at ability, which is the easiest, is that MPC and oligopoly, who has ability to do R&D and why? Mr. Ernest, can you tell me?
Oligopoly got more capital.
你没有听我的问题。Yes, okay, yes, go on. Why? What? Who has the ability?
Oligopoly.
Why?
They got more capital. So
Why?
Because they produce on a large scale.
Again, the idea is BTE. Oligopoly, the BTE is very, very what?
Very high.
High, right? So what is the implication? When you talk about ability, the idea is always supernormal profits. Supernormal profits, okay, right? So can you tell me something about BTE linked to supernormal profits and therefore ability, please?
Since oligopoly have high barriers to entry, they can maintain supernormal profits even in the long run.
Why? Then the teacher will put the arrow. Why? They're able to
keep their market share.
Prevent new firms from
entering.
Correct, right? So in the
long run,
they can continue earning.
They can continue earning supernormal profit.
Okay, now giving them the ability to do R&D. Cannot. In contrast, MPC.
MPC has low barriers to entry. So in the long run, they will have normal profits.
Oh, why? Did you say why?
Because there's a lot of firms in the market.
Oh, no. Because if they earn super profits, what will happen? New firms can easily...
They can take away
Take away. Oh, new firms can easily enter, right? Okay, now what's that funny E word that means take away? It's a geographical term, might be, it's all right. These waves keep crashing and crashing on the beach. It's all right, and then there's less and less. The beach gets start with E.
Erode.
Very good, erosion. That's right, the eroded. Okay, right? Super. Right. And if you want to tell me how it get eroded, right, Mr. Ernest, how will you explain nice? Let's say you are the first Pao Cha in Singapore. Okay, right? Then people say, this bubble, like this pearl is very nice to eat, is right, huh? And then you make a lot of profits, but then like with time, more and more firms enter, right? So using rigorous explanation, can you tell me if this is your ARMR, is all right, what will happen to your ARMR as new firms enter? So Ernest, help me with this. This is important explanation, is that right? Ernest, this is ARMR, right? So new firms enter, right? And your consumers start to switch away from you to your rival firms, right? Ernest, what will happen to your ARMR? The Beyonce song? To the left, to the left.
Shift left.
Shift left, that's right. When you shift left, you lose market what?
Market share.
Yes, nice answer. Okay, now you lose market share, right? And now there are more and more substitute. What will happen to your ARMR?
Decrease.
No, decrease is left, right? Your ARMR becomes gentler. Correct, right? Because now you have less, but you have more close
alternatives.
Substitutes. Okay, right? Causing you to lose market.
Losing market share.
Share is left, right. Gentle is market.
Market power.
Very good. Okay, right? And this will continue until in the long run, MPC earn
normal profit.
Okay, right? And therefore, this greatly limits
their ability to
engage in large scale R&D. Is it okay? But do not say don't have or MPC will do. Just that it's very, very small scale. Is it okay? Can or? Okay, let's try again, Mr. Ernest. For MPC, given the low BTE, what will happen when they earn?
Given the low BTE.
When they earn supernormal profits, new firms can.
Even when they earn supernormal profits, new firms can easily enter the market and erode away their market share.
As consumers?
As consumers switch to other.
Okay, right? And as there are more close substitutes, the firm will also lose market
power.
Okay, right? And this will continue until the MPC earn.
Until the MPC earn normal profits.
Okay, right? With your pen and paper now, draw me this diagram of ARMR shift left and become elastic, and the MPC earn only normal profits. Okay, now show me on the screen once you are done. 可以吗？画得出来吗？天哪，这么慢！叮叮 can. Okay, how to draw, children? It looks something like that, right? Okay, right. So let me teach you how to draw. Okay, right. So that you might be able to do this quickly. Okay, right. So what do you do first, children? Use your ruler, right? Draw your ARMR big and tall. Big and tall first. Okay, not? Remember 50-50%, okay, right? The gap between ARMR, right? That one is 50-50. Okay, right? So don't draw until like that. Draw half like that. Okay. Then you take your ruler, right? You take a ruler, okay, you place it along this vertical part, right? Okay, right? And you shift it left and you tilt it. Do you understand what I'm talking about? You place your ruler along this line, okay, right? Then you shift to the left and tilt it. Okay, right? Then from that is your new AR2, right? Correct. Then you do the half again to find out your MR2. Okay, right? Always draw your demand curve first. Okay, right? After you do that, then you do your Nike switch of the MC. Understand? Draw your MC. So I say again, step number 1, big and tall. Step number 2, shift left and tilt it. So at this second stage, you have AR1 and AR2 is already drawn. Can or not? Third step, insert MC. Okay, right? Once you insert the MC, then you find out where is your P1, P2, Q1, Q2. Can? Which is all the intersection between MC and MR1 and MR2. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So you draw in the MC. Okay, right? Then quickly find your P2, Q2, and P1, Q1. Can? AC always draw last. AC always draw last. Okay, right? So if you want to draw the normal profits, right? Then you should know that the AC should be tangential to P2 and Q2 this point. Do you see that? If you want to draw normal profits, it's like that. If you want to draw subnormal profits, your AC/MC simply move higher. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you want to draw supernormal profits, your AC/MC simply draw lower. Understand, right? Like that, draw fast, one shot, one kill. This is MPC, can in the long run. Oligopoly is still the one in orange. So this is ability, can or not? Can you understand? Ability, right? Then what about incentive? Hayden, say a few words about incentive. Do oligopolies have incentive? Do NPCs have incentive?
Yes.
Yes, okay, right. Why do oligopolies have incentive? Okay. So do you know the answer?
No.
Okay. Oligopolies, right? One possible answer is the oligopolies already, there is price competition and non-price competition, right? Oligopolies already give up price competition already. Okay, right? And so then your answer to the teacher is, since they already give up, right, the price competition due to the mutual interdependence, right? Oligopolies rely solely or very significantly on non-price competition, right, as a way to distinguish themselves. Okay, right? Then if you want to push on a little bit, you can see a few more words saying that oligopolies, even though there are few dominant firms, right, the market is still quite competitive. Is that, for example, Amazon, Singtel, is right. For example, is right, Apple and Samsung, right? So they still have the incentive. So putting together, oligopolies have the ability as well as what? Incentive, right? That's why oligopolies will do a lot of non-price competition. Okay, Ken. But for the MPC, Mr. Hayden, do they have the incentive or not? The answer is still yes. Is that because there are so many close substitutes? Okay, so the MPC will have the incentive to try to do R&D to distinguish themselves, to make themselves a bit less substitutable and increase their market share. However, they are limited by what?
By
They're limited by their ability.
yeah, ability to.
Okay, so will they do R&D or not? The answer is
No.
yes, but at a much smaller scale. How about that? That does not require so much capital. Like that, the answer very, very strong. Okay, and so my point I'm trying to make is incentive and ability. Do you see that, children? Incentive, yes, incentive, yes. Okay, right? Then ability limited, ability significant. Can see like that got compared. So you're actively comparing. Then the teacher say, wow, got see the keyword. If not, then you're just so when you're writing, children must do left, right, do not do top down. Understand? Do not say la 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 la. Then la 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 la. No, it's do re do re do re do re do re. And then use all these words in contrast. On the other hand, wow. Like that. It'll be quite good. Can understand? So can see this answer for MPC overall have incentive but limited ability, right? So the scale of non-price competitive is very limited. So, for example, small changes in product advertisements, products and advertisements using flyers that does not require significant outlay, understand, capital. Then if you don't mind, there's chicken rice, I'm going to change a bit of their flavor here and there, the spiciness of their chili, it's like the oiliness of their rice or something like that. But for the oligopoly, then is what? Scale is bigger, right? Extensive innovation and advertisement require significant outlay. Apple revolution products such as okay, and then celebrities, endorsements, and spokesperson. Okay, right? So the advertisement give flyers, if not then use social media. Social media very cheap one, right? But then the R&D one for the big one is a large scale overhaul of their branding exercise or something like that. Like use those big words that you know lah. But don't be stingy if you got good vocabulary or your GP very good try to be a bit more showy in your language because the teacher also arts trained one so they like to see a bit more, a bit different If you write the boring language, very non-descript so you can know the example what Britney Spears don't know what Billie Eilish don't know what nonsense just throw and then the teacher will be quite impressed. Also this will take a long time, but it's not just the content it's the way you think about the subject and the way you approach it and write it so it take a long time. So this one basic. Okay, right? But the now more and more difficult question, all right, so the second series, can I move on to the second series? Okay, right. So the second series is events. Okay, right? Second series is events, meaning that the teacher will say, this be it case study or be it essay, okay, they will give you a situation, okay, right, and explain to you and ask you to explain how that situation, right, will affect the firms. Okay, right? And then sometimes the teacher will not just ask you to explain, but then the word is discuss. Okay, and for crazy schools, it's all of your schools are quite crazy. We'll even have more difficult to say, what are the factors that determine the impact? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Is that so let's say again, events, the simple answer, the 10-mark one is explain the impact. The 15-mark one is discuss the impact. Okay, the case study answer is what are the factors would you consider to determine the impact? Okay, and so I give you three today. Okay? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll discuss. This also again will take some time. Okay, so the answer is explain only, but then I'll push you harder and talk about the factors that determine the impact. How about that? Okay, right. So again, diagram drawing is all right. So a recession has hit the country. Is all right. So now quite common because of 2022, right? Sure, the COVID will come out. Okay, sure, COVID will come out one. There's no way it will not come out. Is that because So COVID will be heavily tested. I can imagine. Is that right? In 2022 prelim. 2021 is too recent already. But 2022, so let's say the recession come already. Okay, first of all, let's think about it. Right, the market structure diagram when recession happens. The way to think about it is this a demand idea or a cost idea? If demand idea, then change the ARMR. Okay, if the cost idea will change your ACMC. Can you understand? Okay, so this one is a recession. Okay, right? Of course, recession under most circumstances, you say what? The purchasing power falls lah. Okay, right? And then the demand will go down lah. Okay, right? So how is this shown in a market structure way? Market structure way is what? The ARMR will shift to the left. But remember, don't draw, must draw parallel. Because there's no elastic concept changing, right? It's simply the demand shift to the left. Just now was different, Just now, the earners told us, right? When the new firms enter, not only will demand fall, right? But you also lose your market power, correct, right? But for recession, only shift to the left parallel. Can we draw that for me? Draw parallel. So you take the ruler, right? Draw the demand curve big and tall. Then you take the ruler parallel shift only to the left. Then when you draw your MC, always draw MC after your ARMR shift. If not, you'll be very confused one. Okay, right? Can draw for me? Let me text Mary. Am I out of focus? I think I keep veering away from the like that. See. So children, is alright, The diagram should be okay lah. Now you can see that in my diagram, right? I never draw my ACMC. Okay, right? Maybe I see now. Oh, it's a second question already, right? Like that can? Okay, you draw your parallel, and then you draw your MC. Okay, and then what will happen to your P and Q? This is just consistent with your demand and supply, right? When demand shift to the left, you say what? There is surpluses, correct, right? Then the firms want to cut prices to get rid of excess stock, as the prices fall, correct? But the analysis cannot be used here, don't. But what is the analysis here? So for normal schools, is they're very happy already. You draw this diagram, they clap hand. Wow, very, very good. Okay, right? And then you draw the MC, right? Then you say the P will fall and the Q will fall. Okay, right? But for crazy schools, and the schools are getting crazy every year. Last time I say this, nobody believed me. Until Diamond High also test this out very difficult ideas. So in the demand supply, you have the adjustment process, right? Demand for short surplus exerting downward pressure. Okay, for the very advanced students among you, is that right? For the market structure, also got some adjustment process. Okay, now what's the adjustment process? If you look at the diagram here, okay, right, that you see here, right? Now, the original point of production, right, is at Q1 and P1, right? Okay, right? And how do you determine the Q1 and P1 is when MC cuts MR1. Do you see that? Okay, right? But now the demand curve have shifted, right? Correct. So if the firm still produce at Q1, right? Okay, right? Then is this equilibrium for the firm's perspective, right? Why is that the case? Because initially was MC equals to MR1, correct? But now after the MR fall already, right? MC at Q1, right? Zheng Xian, can you help me? Previously at MC equals MR, right? But after the demand curve shifted already, if I still belong at Q1, right? I still start at Q1, right? Then what is the relationship between MC and MR?
Wait, I don't know whether it's my Wi-Fi, but I cannot see the screen.
You cannot see the screen? How come? Let me show you again. How come? Oh, I see. Okay. So sorry, yeah. Okay. Can see?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, not I understand how the computer works. My boss asked me to come here, and then okay, never mind. So can you see now? Okay,
Yeah,
if actually at Q1, then what is the relation between MC and MR?
MC and MR is whereas in at Q1.
At Q1, right? So previously was MC equals to MR1, right? Then after that, the MR1 moved to MR2, right? Then what is the relation between MC and MR now?
What do you mean by like as in MC and MR1 now?
Okay. So MR previously MC equals MR1.
Yeah.
Now MR1 falls to MR2.
Yeah.
So if I remain at Q1, right? Is MC higher or MR higher?
MC is higher.
That's right. So now there's this equilibrium, right? Because MC now is higher than MR already. Correct. So what will the firms do?
The firms will
move towards the new profit maximizing position at MC equals to MR2. Is right at Q2. Wow, like that, the teacher quite impressed. Understand what I'm talking about? So recession, ARMR will shift to the left, right? At Q1, MC is now higher than MR2. Okay, right? So firms will want to reduce production, right, to the new equilibrium or profit maximizing level at MC equals to MR2 at Q2. Wow, the teacher will be very, very impressed. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Like that got analysis. For those people who are a bit more crazy, the analysis can go even deeper. This is for the Dharma High bunch. Okay, right? I think Linda will go aesthetic. Is that right? If you can tell her this, Jin Rong, is that right? Just now, this Zheng Xian says we will move from Q1 to Q2, right? So when you're producing less, you earn less revenue and you also incur less costs. Correct? If you look at Q1 to Q2, using MC and MR as your guiding principle, right? How much would the total cost fall, right? If you move from Q1 to Q2? Total cost is area under MC. Correct? Total cost is area under MC, right? So if you move from Q1 to Q2, right? Jin Rong, tell Linda, okay, right? Your total cost, right, will fall by B, A, Q1, Q2. Do you see that? B, A, Q1, Q2. Okay, right? And Jin Rong, using the same idea, how much would your revenue fall if you move from Q1 to Q2 using MR2 as a guiding principle? Again, area under MR2, right? Correct. Jin Rong, how much would the revenue fall?
Q2, B, I guess.
Yes.
Then C.
B, Q1.
Q1, yeah.
Okay, right? Cost will fall by B, A, Q1, Q2. Revenue will fall by B, C, Q1, Q2. This is your margins principle at work. Okay, right? So Jin Rong, cost fall more than revenue. Did profit rise or fall?
Cost fall more, so profit should rise.
Profit will rise. That's right. Profit will rise by how much? So easy. B, A, Q1, Q2. B, C, Q1, Q2. So what's the difference?
ABC.
Finish lah, as simple as ABC. Okay, right? So profits will have risen by ABC, right? If you move from Q1 to Q2. So that is the adjustment process for market structure. For the crazy nuts out there, is that right? Jin Kang and Jin Rong, is that your teacher will be quite impressed. Okay, last time the year one question very difficult. You know what's the year one last time the promo question? When the recession comes, right? Explain why it's all right. Prices will fall based on the margins principle. Then this is the answer. Okay, the adjustment process. But anyway, for the crazy people out there, but regardless, it's all right. The P will fall and Q will fall. How about that? Okay, but if you don't like all these area, but at least tell me at Q1, okay, MC is now bigger than MR2. Okay, and they will reduce production and charge lower prices to the profit maximizing position, and MR2 equals to MC. Like that, the teacher very impressed by your vigor. Happy? Now let's push. Evaluation. This one must know, okay? Now, when there's a recession, ARMR will shift to the left, correct? Okay, then now the teacher very cleverly will weave in your demand and supply into this. Okay, and so Jin Kang is right. When income falls and the ARMR shifts to the left, correct, right? As an evaluation, what will you tell Miss Teo?
Can you say again?
ARMR will shift to the left when income falls. How would you evaluate this issue? The hint is from demand and supply.
Don't know.
Income falls, demand falls. Extent of demand falls depends on
YED.
I like that. Good answer. Okay, extent of fall depends on YED. Correct, right? And then Jin Kang, then you define YED is the responsiveness, blah, blah, blah. Okay, right? Okay, after you do that, so how would you elaborate on that idea? Okay, YED, what are the three?
YED what?
YED, what are the three components?
Income and
What are the three type of goods?
normal good.
Higher.
And
Three types. Normal is the normal versus inferior. What are the three types? Lux, neck, inf. Lux.
A luxury good.
Neck. Necessity. Inf.
Inferior good.
That's right. So when the demand falls, right? Correct, right? Will the demand always fall?
No.
No. Correct, right? Sometimes demand may actually
increase or stay the same.
Increase. Correct, right? If the good is
necessity.
Inferior
good.
Inferior good. Okay, inferior good, right? Such as everything must prepare one example, okay? For exam, everything must prepare one example. Okay, anything just throw. Okay, what's a classic example of inferior good? Anything don't know, I won't see you again, but anything don't know, just add second hand.
Okay.
Anything don't know, if you could such a second hand something.
Second hand phone.
Whatever. Oh, really, man? 还有心情买电话 Okay, fine Okay, second hand clothes rental cars something like that if you don't like, then say canned food. Of course, then the young people say, "Yeah, very good. The marling luncheon meat quite nice." Okay. But in canned food but if you want to justify why the canned food is inferior, what would you say, Jin Kang?
It's not fresh.
Not fresh, not as fresh Got what Got the 防腐剂 called what
What canned food examples?
No, got 防腐剂. What is 防腐剂? Canned food example. Marling luncheon meat, I said already.
What's 防腐剂?
Hey, you buy cultural. 对得起孔子嘛 You go to school every day, the 孔子 in front of you. What is 防腐剂? Let me ask Junrong, what is 防腐剂?
Preservative.
哎呦，非常好，再来可以preservative not as fresh. Like that So when the income rise, then when income falls, income, what will happen to the demand?
When income falls, demand for inferior good will increase.
Yeah, what will happen?
The demand will increase for
increase correct And then the demand will fall when income falls for what kind of goods?
Superior.
Inferior, superior, 你在卖燕窝 my goodness me.
Luxury.
No, demand will fall for normal goods. Correct. And then normal inside got two types, right? The one that will fall jialat one is what? The one that will fall a lot one is called what?
Luxury.
Okay lah. Then the one will fall a bit one will call what?
Necessity.
Like that lah. Correct. Got elaboration. Can? In terms of food, inferior food called canned food. Necessity food called what? Example?
Clean water.
Wow, clean somehow. Very constructive. Clean water. Okay lah. I think rice lah. We Asian lah. Okay lah. But what is the luxury food? Super clean water, is it? What is luxury food?
Like designer goods.
Food lah, food. Designer food, man. I don't know. Maybe young people got a lot of egg slut. I don't know. I don't know what's happening to the world. But the Shake Shack is terrible. Okay. Why Shake Shack so expensive? Young people got eat Shake Shack before. Then they go and try once. After the queue subsided finally. Wow, I see. I said set meal. He said no set meal, sir. We are not fast food. Wow, I got insulted leh. Wow, everything must be single one. 2% eat until $40. Okay. What is the example of luxury food? You say Shake Shack, the teacher don't know one. Linda don't know what Shake Shack. Right? What will Linda know? Wagyu beef lah. Can remember? Wagyu beef.
Can.
Then don't like, then right, but fine dining. Like that. Like that, the teacher very impressive. So the Wagyu beef, the demand will fall more than proportionally. I use the word, and then the rice, the demand will fall less than proportionally. Then inferior goods such as canned food may actually rise. Therefore, right, the impact of income fall, right, on the different firms. Do you see the word different? Different, must circle. Okay, right? Depends on the type of good. Okay, more specifically, the YED. Just clap hand. Like that. This one not in the notes one. Must use your writing power. Okay, understand? That's one evaluation. Okay, right? Second evaluation, is that right? Hidden, is that right? Supposing the demand falls, right? Why didn't I draw the AC curve in the diagram? Because we don't know what is the market structure. They never say the market structure, right? So when the demand falls, right, the price and quantity will fall, of course. Okay, right? But the impact on different firms, just now the Jin Kang help us. The way to define different is different type of goods, right? Specifically YED. But then there are other ways of looking at different type of firm, right? In your case, it's different type of market structure. Do you understand what I'm talking about? And so if the demand falls for different market structure, the impact is different. What is the way? Is it why is it different?
Different market structure, different ED.
Okay. So I help you. Just now we say for the MPC, right? What kind of profits are they earning?
Just now.
In the long run, what's the profit they earn?
For which market structure?
MPC.
MPC, long run, normal profits.
Normal profits, right? Then normal profits, then the demand fall further,
Oh.
Then what kind of profits are they earning now?
Super normal.
I see.
Yeah.
Demand falls, normal become what?
Yes.
It's a sandwich that is 6 foot long and 1 foot long. Then they ask you why they want to put pickles. Then you say, can I throw in a cookie? Not staff, Subway. Anyway, subnormal profits. Subnormal profits, okay, right? Subnormal profits. But for the oligopoly in the long run, what profits do they earn?
Long run, also normal.
Super normal, correct, right? Because of BTS. So when the demand falls, what kind of profits do they earn now?
normal.
Don't know lah. Okay, but for the MPC, sure subnormal. Oligopoly don't know. Correct. But the chances of earning subnormal is 100% for MPC, at least theoretically. Right? Oligopolies is still possible to earn normal, supernormal still, right? Like that lah. So depends on different types of market structure. Can? So very typical of market structure question one. They ask how would this event is like hit different firms, right? Then the way to look at the different is different type of product and different type of market structure. Okay, right? Jun Rong is alright. Hayden say that for MPC, okay, the ARMR4 already, right? They earn from normal to subnormal. In market structure, anytime you see the subnormal, you must write the stupid thing called 关门大吉.
Leave the industry.
关门大吉. 关门啊，关门。关门 shut
shut down.
哎呦天哪 OK 啦 anytime OK 啦 you have any chance to say that earn some profits then chiong the shutdown condition. Understand? Jun okay, the next step, how to explain the shutdown condition. Anyway, what is the shutdown condition?
Total
Wait I wait. Ernest can, Ernest, Mr. Peng, understand what I'm talking about. Brandon, I cannot see you, but are you following?
Yes, I'm following.
Thank you very much. Is my hair very messy? No, right? Okay, anyway, call on. Yes, Mr. Ng.
The profits are over total fixed costs. Total fixed costs, I think.
Me sigh. Which one? Wow, like that will double fail leh. Even if you write out the answer, your Linda Tail will say no explanation, also L11. Understand, right? Even if you get it correct, they also say no explanation. Okay, what's the answer? Whether they can cover the total variable cost. Can you understand? Whether they can cover the total variable cost. Okay, but what is the explanation? This one sure fail. They only tell you the answer after the exam, not before. Okay, when you see the shutdown condition, not only do you need to state, you must explain. Okay, right? How to explain? Yes, Jun Rong, what is the explanation?
I'm not sure how to start the explanation. It's
wow, you crazy. Next year, Linda Tail will say, where is the numerical example? The shutdown condition also got numerical example. Okay, but anyway, let me explain to you. Okay, there are two types of costs in the short run, right? One is fixed. Okay, my left hand side is fixed. One is variable. Okay, now I let my fingers. So can you see my fingers now? The fixed cost is $5. Okay, now the variable cost is another $5. Do you see that, children? Can you see my hands? Okay. Now I earn. So what does it mean? Means that if you produce, right, you need to incur $10 of 5 fixed and 5 variable. Do you understand? But even if you don't produce, you already invested in the startup cost. So you must still give up $5 of fixed cost already paid already. Cannot take back. Understand, right? Now you incur $10 and you earn a revenue of $8. Okay, right? So 8 is less than 10, right? What profits do you earn? Hayden, your favorite word of today. What profit do you earn? Subnormal. Okay, right? Hayden, subnormal of $2. Okay, right? Should you continue production or not? The issue is yes, correct? Why? Because if you don't produce at all, you will suffer $5 of fixed costs. But if you produce, yes, it's true, you incur $10 of fixed costs and $5 of variable costs, right? $10 altogether. But you earn 8 back. So you're left with only $2 worth of subnormal profits. Produce subnormal profits is 2. Don't produce subnormal profit is 5. Which one better? Produce. So in the 2 cases will still earn subnormal profits, right? But the latter case only 2. So better produce, even though you earn sub. Understand? Now, supposing now your revenue is $3. You suffer a cost of $10. 10 minus 3 is 7. Produce, incur 7. Don't produce, incur 5. Correct now? Which one better? Don't produce. Okay, now, because don't produce only limit your subnormal to 5. Produce at 2. Now, the issue is whether you can cover the variable cost. Okay, right? How to explain Jun Rong, the answer is this, okay, right? If you can cover the variable cost, okay, right? You can use the excess to cover part of your fixed cost. Do you understand? So your subnormal profit is less than fixed cost. If you do not produce, your subnormal profit is the fixed cost. Therefore, it's better to produce to limit your subnormal profits to less than fixed cost. Okay? If you cannot cover your variable costs, correct? The subnormal profits is not just your fixed cost, but also the variable cost that is not covered. Therefore, your subnormal profits will be more than fixed costs. Therefore, it's better not to produce to limit your subnormal profits to the fixed cost. Right, that is explanation. Okay, right? So there are many hurdles. Not only do you need to know what to state, but you must know how to explain like that. So it's here. I also throw in the numeric example for you to read. Okay, but the answer is here. Okay? If yes, the difference between TVC and TR can be used to offset TFC partially. Okay, therefore, subnormal profits will be less than TFC. Can you understand? This statement is quite important. So do remember that. Cannot, okay, right? Zheng Xian, anything that happen on events, they ask you what is the impact on firms? Is that what is the 2 way to define the difference?
As in 2 ways to define.
2 ways, right? The way to define different under market structure is 1, different type of good. In this case, YED. Second, different type of market structure. Okay, right? The more difficult one, the last time come up with this stupid question. Can I understand? Let's say now the event given to you, right, Zheng Xian, is now this Black Friday, whatever, a lot of this e-commerce nonsense, right? So for the traditional brick and mortar stores, right, they face a lot of competition. Correct? And so the question asks, discuss how this rise of e-commerce will affect different firms. Okay, so first, before you talk about different, tell me generally what will happen, right? Because e-commerce means what? There's more competition, right? So more competition is slightly different from recession because competition, just like the earlier case of MPC, right? Not only does it reduce your market share, but also reduce your market power by giving you more profits, by reducing your market power, correct? More substitutes. So, but anyway, the diagram is still P will fall and Q will fall lah. Correct? Then how do you evaluate the different type of firms?
You start with saying like the kind of goods.
A type of good, okay. And so what type of good will determine the extent of the fall of demand?
Whether they produce like, are they close substitutes?
Very good girl, that's right. Whether they are close substitutes or not. Okay, right? Because competition concept is XED issue. Recession, the answer is YED issue. Do you know what I'm talking about? So which goods are close substitutes and which goods are not close substitutes?
Let's say like Like those that are close substitutes for like they will lose more of their market.
I know lah, that one theory ma, correct, right? So which type of sector will be hit very badly by e-commerce?
Like tech.
Like what?
Like those places that sell like tech stuff, because you can get it online.
Tech stuff. Okay. I think in general retail lah. Retail, right? Because they're exactly the same, right? If you're crazy with the writing, they're actually better substitutes because they come with delivery. Correct. Especially in these COVID days, where everyone will want to stay at home, right, and avoid contracting the disease, right? In fact, the home delivery is superior, Then these sectors will hit very, very badly, right? Because they're extremely close substitutes. Okay. This one is easy, but what is the example of sectors that are less affected by e-commerce?
Like food.
Food, really, man, the Grab food can deliver to your house, or. Then of course you might want food is possible, but you say what? If they deliver, then what will happen?
Like but then the food you're still buying from the restaurant though.
Yeah, then you say, the quality is different, correct, right? The ambience is different. You ask, a Michelin star delivery at home. You open the door, then this person dressed in bright green, ma'am, your food, then you open Michelin star. Oh no, maybe right? But the more clear examples of sectors that are not affected by e-commerce is services. You cannot get a virtual haircut. You also cannot get a virtual massage. Or you cannot insert your finger into the screen and polish. I cannot do your manicure virtually. So services are still quite protected from e-commerce. These are completely no close substitute. Okay, but of course the interim one is food, right? Because the food quality will diminish. Okay, and then don't have the ambience. Okay, or like clothes also. My mother will say the clothes cannot anyhow buy because you must try first. So for auntie like my mother, the shoe is definitely cannot buy online because they say the foot size different. So that is possible, but the idea is correct. The extent of switching depends on whether they are close substitutes or not. Very, very good. Then the second answer is depends on market structure. Then always come back. Do you understand the pattern? Is the ARM will shift, right? But whether they earn like what Hayden say, from normal to sub, or from super to less super, depends on market structure. Can you understand? Okay, so these two, okay, I'm going to push one more, okay, right? Firm's ability to respond. Okay, right? So they are hit, right? But then the firms are not stupid, right? Just sit there, do nothing. Cannot be, right? And so whether the firms are able to rise up to the occasion, right? And do some form of action, right? To mitigate the extent of a recession. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, so the Dhammaha people, this is your 2B, correct? Strategies. Okay, right? Ernest, what will you do if your firm is and your demand is falling? Don't do anything. Ernest, your demand is falling already. What should you do?
Advertising.
Okay, do your what? Product and process innovation. Okay, so we'll park this issue away first, right? So now we just talk about in general, demand falling, right? Ernest, what are the three things Junrong and Jun Kang is right? The three strategies under normal circumstances, when they ask you strategies, okay, what can you do to prevent your demand from falling and your profits from falling too much? Advertising is one, okay, right? Two is innovation. Correct. So you not only improve the brand loyalty, but you improve the quality. Can understand? Okay, right? Can do R&D to improve the quality, right? And do advertisements to increase the brand loyalty. Correct. Ernest, reversing what we said earlier, what will happen to your ARMR as you do these things?
Shift to the right.
Okay, right? Because consumers now to buy your stuff, correct, right? And so you gain market
gain market share.
Very good, huh? And now your products are deemed to be less substitutable, right? Your demand curve will also become more
the more steep.
Because and you gain more market
power.
Okay, right. Okay, then your P and Q will start to increase, right? Then you draw the diagram, okay, right? And then your profits will rise. Okay, so the strategies is always product innovation as well as advertisements. Okay, but the third one might be process innovation. Heard before, right? Process innovation is to cut costs. Okay, right? Can what is the way to cut costs? Ernest, how can you cut costs? Okay. What can you do to cut costs?
Use cheaper raw materials.
Maybe lah. Okay, but now a bit more modern. Can I tell you? Can you remember an acronym for me called AAD? AAD. Okay. A number one. A is to do what? Automation. Okay, ma? Automation. Sounds big and mature. The word. Okay. Another A. Artificial intelligence. Can? AI. Okay. What is D? 数码化 digitalization. 可以吗? Understand? Then what will happen? All these automation, artificial intelligence, and digitalization, right? Ernest, how to cut costs?
Make the process more efficient.
Very good. Increase your product.
Increase the productivity.
Okay, right. Increase your productivity. Cannot? If you like to say a few more words, elaboration, right? Faster processing speed. Cannot? Less prone to human errors. Like that the teacher clap hand. Okay, right? And Ernest, after you do all these things, right? What would the diagram look like if you do process innovation and your costs go down?
Is it the AR, MR thing?
Now it's the cost issue, right? So AR, MR is the demand issue. So your costs go down, how to draw? ACMC move downwards. Okay, later I'll make you draw a diagram for me. ACMC move downwards. Okay, right? Can Ernest, 3 ways of if they ever ask strategies, what are the 3 ways?
The automation.
One is the 2 demand, one is advertisements and product innovation. Okay, then demand will shift. Then the third one is process innovation. Understand? Process, that one is cut costs. Okay, later second half we'll even add more to that. But for the time being, can? Okay, right? But so if the firms are able to do product innovation, process innovation, as well as advertisements, right? Jin, Kang, what is the evaluation for all these things? I can understand, correct, right? But what will the firms be able to do this?
No.
No, or depends on what?
They're super normal profit.
Very good. Okay, right. We go back to the market structure again. Correct, right? So between oligopolies and MPC, who can do this better?
Oligopoly.
Okay lah, can, right? Then go back and say, because they're super profits, they can do that. Okay, right? But even if they can do that, is alright. That one idea is what depends on super profits or market structure. Can you really understand? Second answer is what? All these product and process innovation takes
Time.
Okay, right. Time horizon. Okay, right. So the firms will be affected more in the
Short run.
okay, right. But in the
Long run.
is that right? They are better able to cope with these sudden events. How about that? So two factors evaluation is what? Whether there is the super profits or the market structure. Two is time horizon. Okay, now Linda will clap. Yay! Okay, ma? That is evaluation for your 2B. Okay, right? 3, I push a bit harder. I push a bit harder. Okay, this one will really stun the socks off your teachers. Okay, right? 3. Now, Jun Kang says that the firm's right ability is dependent on their market structure, correct? Super profits for oligopolies can do. No super profits MPC cannot do so much. Okay, now here comes the master stroke. Okay, now 3. Even if the NPC are limited by their supernormal profits, right? Jun Kang, I ask you, who will help the NPC?
Investors.
Who will help the NPC? Oh, this NPC died already, you know, this Lawrence Wong, right? Or Heng Swee Keat on the parliament. Oh, our SME die, you know, this COVID. Who will help them?
The government.
By that, good answer. Okay, now the third answer is, okay, now, whether there is government help intervention. Can you remember for me? Wow, this teacher clap. Okay, right? Especially in the COVID days, the government spends a lot of money, okay, to help these SMEs. SMEs, understand? Small, medium enterprises. So even if the firm don't have the ability, right, the government will help you. Okay, I think the teacher very, very impressed. This one will appear again, is right, as a year 6 syllabus. Okay, it's called Productivity Solutions Grant. I check for you, wait, Can see? Okay, you can see, It's all in the answers, don't worry. You just listen, can already, You take brief notes, everything right nice for you. Can see? Junior can see? This one will appear in your year 6 syllabus. But I teach you first, okay? Productivity Solution Grant, right? For Singapore SMEs. Okay, right? So whether the firms have the ability to do that or not depends on 3 things. 1, what is the firm's market structure? 2, what is the time horizon? Okay, right? And 3, whether there's government intervention such as 1, 2, 3, Singapore Productivity Solutions Grant. Okay, right? I think your teacher will be very, very impressed. You get 6,000 marks. Can you understand? Okay, right? However, okay, before we say goodbye, however, for the break, in this case, how do you show that you're able to apply to the context? Correct? Just now, Ernest said that we should do more advertisements, right? Ernest, you say that, right? And do product innovation, correct or not? But what is the situation now? You need to think carefully, okay, right? It is a recession. Correct, right? So recession means that the households, their purchasing power is falling, you know. Correct, right? So Mr. Ernest, during a time where the household's income are falling, right? When you advertise that Dyson has this cordless vacuum cleaner and bladeless fan, right? Ernest, do you think the people with financial problems will go and buy the bladeless fan?
No.
No lah, correct, right? So to address the issue a bit better, right, Ernest, learning from what your teacher talked to you about is about the usefulness of YED value, right? If during a recession you want to do product innovation, what kind of product innovation will you do? Let's say you are producing, let's say you are a luxurious fine dining, right? Correct, right? Then the demand will fall a lot, right? Because the YED value very big, right? Correct, Mr. Ernest. What should you do to limit the extent of the fall in your demand?
Make your services like more unique.
Maybe, okay, for the crazy nuts out there, is that right? The answer is, the reason why the luxurious good, the demand falls so much because YED very big, right? Okay, right? So what should you do to mitigate the impact on recession on you is to reduce your YED value. Wow, the teacher clap. Okay, right? Reduce YED value. Wow. The teacher 拍手, okay, right? So that the demand will fall less. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Under normal circumstances, you say R&D lah, correct? But the recession, how can you come up with even more luxurious product when the demand is already falling so much? When income falling, right? So the better answer is R&D to reduce the YED value. Cannot. So what is the example of that? Let me ask, Zheng Xian. Supposing your ramen include things such as Wagyu beef. Nobody want to eat Wagyu beef, no money, still eat Wagyu beef. Then what should you do about your ramen?
Vegan. Like use like vegan meat.
Like that lah, okay lah. Use more humble ingredients found locally lah. How about that? Okay, right? Supposing you're at supermarket, right? Wow, last time you're like cold storage like that. Wow, our beef is air flown, our chia seeds is organic. Okay, right? Wow, then very good during a economic boom, right? But recession come already, supermarket must sell what?
More locally grown.
Okay, right? The sexy word is house brand. NTUC brand toilet paper. That kind. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Is that even the canned tuna also got NTUC brand one, okay? This one people will rush. The what from the Swiss Alps, the kind nobody will buy. Okay, so the supermarket will launch house brands instead of organic food. Okay, F&B will introduce what? Packaged meal. Is that right? Even Shake Shack, I think, will now sell a set meal already, to appeal to the more budget conscious. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you are a tour agency, okay, Hayden, what kind of tour package will you introduce during a recession? 26-day tour in exotic Caribbean, is it?
No.
Then what? Madagascar?
I don't know.
I think honeymoon package in Johor Bahru lah. Okay, right? Instead of exotic destinations, right? How about nearby destinations? Okay, right? Instead of cruises, is there a vibe about coaches? Something along those lines. But the idea is apply to the context, and the answer is what? By reducing the YED value, right? When the demand falls during the income falls, right? The extent of demand falls will be mitigated. Like that, the teacher clap hand. Okay, so all nice, right in the answer for you. Okay, right, So whether the strategies are possible or not depends on the type of market structure, time horizon, and whether there's government intervention. 可以不可以啊? Okay, right, For crazy people, what is the two example? Is alright. Just now we talk about product solutions. There's one funny stupid thing. Is alright. Jun Rong, is alright. Can you tell me? Is alright. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think the SMEs go digital by the Singapore government is supposed to do?
I guess just digitize.
Okay, very obvious, right? Very easy to remember, right? Such as the SMEs Go Digital initiative by the government is to help them venture into e-commerce. Something like that. Wow, the teacher very impressed. That is doing very well for econs A levels. Okay, not A levels. I mean, this is really, yeah, the tricks lah. Is that all for you to remember? Can understand? Let's check the time. Okay. Let's try one more and then we go for a break. Okay. The recession is a demand for idea, correct? Okay, using the same ideas that we discussed. Now the event is slightly different. Okay, the event now, before we go home, is not go home. Before we say goodbye for a short while. Okay, let's look at event 2. Rise in labor costs. Okay, right. Draw diagram first for rise in labor costs. Just on the demand for, right? Rise in labor costs is the what? ACNC move upwards, Okay, right. Demand curve never shift, Demand curve never shift. Okay, right. So the way to draw is what? ARMR, okay, right. And you draw 290 switch. 290 switch. Let me check what I need to do. Can see 290 switch, So how does it look like? Can? Okay, and again for the crazy nuts out there, is alright, Your adjustment process might be along the lines of what? Previously was MC1 equals to MR, correct? So when the MC goes up, now MC2 is higher than MR. Okay, right? And so they will shift to the left. Okay, right? At the new equilibrium where MC2 equals to MR. Actually, equilibrium is not the right word. Okay, MC2 equals to MR at the new profit maximizing level. How about that? But regardless, P will go up and Q will go down. How about that? Okay, right? So this is your explain the event first. Okay, right? And then what do you need to do, children? We must consider the factors of consideration. Okay, right? We must consider how to evaluate it, right? Okay, right? How to evaluate? Hayden, how to evaluate? Later I let you have your tea break, okay? Don't worry. Demand is falling because income is falling. We say YED. Okay, demand is falling when there's substitutes. Zheng Xian says XED. Okay, now is the cost. Cost has risen, right? What is the way to evaluate cost? Okay, I push, I push for you, okay. The way to do it, same with the demand and supply, is if it's the demand and supply question, then what will happen? Supply curve will shift to the left, right? But how do you evaluate the extent of supply fall? Okay, depends on something which I'll push, if I see you again, called factor intensity. Do you understand? What's factor intensity? Well, the cost go up because of price of factor of production is rising, right? But the key issue to answer to ask yourself is whether this factor of production is important or not. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Supposing it's not labor cost, right? Supposing it's energy cost. Okay, now oil has become more expensive, which is true. Hayden, which sector will be affected by higher energy costs? Will tuition center be affected? A bit, right? Because Zoom needs the electricity, right? But which sector will be affected more when, let's say, oil prices become more expensive?
Transport.
Of course. Okay, right? How about manufacturing? Okay, right? You need all the factories to run, right? So the energy price is very expensive. Of course, it will affect tuition center, which is services. You will also affect manufacturing or transport. Is that but the extent is different. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Now the cost rising is labor cost. Okay, right? Hayden, which sector will be affected by labor costs?
Uh,
Which sector use a lot of labor?
construction.
Like that lah. Good answer. Construction, right? Or how many percent sugar, sir?
Service.
Services. Okay, lah. Because these sectors are very, very labor
Lion.
intensive. Okay, now just now when energy cost is rising, manufacturing and transport is very, very energy intensive. Can you understand? Therefore the issue is type of industry or the factor intensity. Teacher clap hand. Okay, right? If you're labor intensive, ACMC will move up a lot. If you're not labor intensive, ACMC will move up by a little bit. Okay, right? If you're energy intensive, like transport and manufacturing, ACMC will move up a lot. If you're labor intensive and not energy intensive, then high energy costs will also shift your ACMC by a little bit. Is this okay? Can, right? So the extent of shift, can you see that the parallel between the first question and second question is the first way to go, first thing to go. Are we okay? Can, right? Then, just like earlier, type of market structure. Can you understand? Okay, right? So, Jun Kang is a writer. What is the issue here again?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
What is the second factor of evaluation other than factor intensity?
Isn't it on the screen?
Yes, it is. So your job is just to read it, 咯。
type of market.
连读都要我自己读咩？我说了嘞，你问我说 Isn't it on the screen？ 不要这样啦，俊康，我们是德明的学生，我是 X 德明的 ，OK， 我们有非常良好的中华传统 ，OK，just like 华聪哦，but anyway yes， 俊康 ，What is the second way of evaluation？
Type of market structure.
哦 ，EJC 有时候哈 ，EJC 是公教的哈，公教也是传统哈校哈，那你yes。
type of market structure.
Okay, go on, elaborate, please.
I'm not sure how to elaborate.
So then you tell me lah, if you're NPC, then what will happen? If you're NPC, what kind of profits do you earn in the long run?
Normal.
Normal. So if costs were to rise further, what kind of profits will you earn?
Subnormal.
Okay lah, correct. And when you earn subnormal, then what is the next thing to tell me?
They might exit the market.
They must consider the shut down. Shut down what? 刚才不是讲了咩 ？Shut down
condition.
like that lah, which is whether they can cover
the initial cost.
Is that what I said just now? Whether they can cover the
fixed cost.
Whether they can cover the what cost?
Total cost.
TVC. Correct, right? TVC. 为什么你皱眉头？我看到你皱眉头哦。TVC, right? If they can cover the TVC, should they continue?
Yes.
Why?
Because they're not suffering from any loss.
Okay, I show you the answer, you read for me, okay? Since you like to tell me that. Okay, go on.
Earning normal profits in long run due to lower BTE. When demand falls, subnormal profit, so shutdown conditions.
Yes. So go on.
If they're able to cover, then the difference in TVC and total
Is
revenue.
it TVC or TFC?
What?
Is it TVC or TFC?
I thought it's TVC.
Yes, it is. It's all right, which is not what you said just now. Correct? You just said TFC. Correct? Before I show you the answer, can you remember it's TVC now?
Yeah.
Okay, I go on. If they can cover, then what will happen?
Then it can be used to offset TFC.
Therefore,
should continue because the subnormal profit is lesser.
it is less than. Can be or not? Because the subnormal profit is what?
Less than total fixed cost.
That's right. Okay, then go on. If they shut down, then what will happen? They will incur what problem? They will incur what kind of subnormal profits?
Subnormal profits will be equal to total fixed cost.
Therefore, which one is better? Continue or not continue?
Should continue because you'll be.
Okay, now can understand? 一定会问的 ，OK 呢？一定会问的啊！答案还有 sure ask one. If it doesn't appear in the promo, you appear in your next round of tests. Okay, so that is our market structure, isn't it? Jin Kang, what if your oligopolies? Will you definitely earn subnormal profits?
No.
No, it's right because in the long run they earn what kind of profits?
Supernormal.
And if the cost were to rise, the chances of them earning some profits will be more or less than NPC?
Less.
Okay, right? I push, even if they earn subnormal profits, why is it that oligopolies may not have to shut down?
Because it's high BT, so they don't need to compete with as many firms.
Can you remember this line for me?
They have the supernormal profits.
Earned previously, okay now, to help them tide over the current situation. Does it make sense? Okay, right? So oligopolies' chance of considering shutdown condition is extremely low compared to MPC. Okay, right? But the factor of consideration is market structure. Okay, okay, right? Third factor is the same as earlier. Is that right? The Jin Rong, is that right? The cost is rising. It depends on the firm's ability to respond, right? Okay. In general, as we just now we help Ernest. Ernest help us already. What are the 3 ways? Is that right? For firms to respond.
R&D for product innovation.
Plus.
Advertisement.
Plus.
Process innovation.
Innovation, correct? Just for that, we learned this acronym called AAD. Can you still recall what are the AAD? 自动化、人工智慧、自动化、机械化、自动化。Automation. Okay, right?
Yeah.
人工智能 Artificial Intelligence. 数码化
Digitalization.
Okay, right? Very good. Your Chinese listens is already pick it up. Okay, right? Out of these 3, right? In this case, where the labor cost is rising, right? Out of these 3, which one is more appropriate?
Automation.
废话，对吧？因为是 cost idea. Okay, just now the demand was falling, right? The one that's more appropriate is product innovation. Okay, but all of them can. Okay, but 牛头要对马嘴啦, so the better closer to the issue is or the root cause of the problem, right? Should go first.
Okay.
But the way to remember is 这3个东西. Okay, if you're really, really crazy, is alright. I will push for product, which is not here. Okay, right? But since this is a Dharma High, is alright. You're very, very good. You're writing. Why is it that when cost is rising, right, you want to do product innovation, right? It's not just so that your demand will go up. Okay, right? It's because by making the demand more price inelastic, right? The firm is better able to pass on the higher cost to consumers. 哇，这个 answer 那个 Linda 就会拍手拍手。OK right，那 Burley 就会放在他的 answer scheme 里面。OK right, because demand is inelastic, right? When you raise price, the economic demand only for what? Less than proportionately, right? And then the producers will bear less of the burden, a higher cost. Wow, would be a good answer. But of course, you don't care, you just say the demand will rise. Okay, but Junrong, as an evaluation, whether the firms are able to do this whole bunch of process product innovation, right, depends on 3 factors. Can you tell me what are the 3 factors?
Market structure.
2.
Ability to respond. Is it ability to respond? Yeah.
That's right. The ability to respond depends on what?
The
Supernormal profits, correct, right? Market structure as you mentioned. Tick, 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 tick.
time horizon, yeah.
Time horizon, 对不对？ 3. BAP.
The government intervention.
Such as
Grants.
Such as 我们一起数码化吧中小企业。中小企业一起中小企业 SMEs。SMEs go
digital 呀。
非常好，接下来这样就哇满分。OK right， 这3个点就是你的 2B 的 evaluation is product innovation the best way to right？ 这3个点，你知道 whether government intervention, and whether firms have super profits. Okay, with this, the time now is 4:44. Okay, supposed to give you 1个钟头的 break. So I'll see you at 5:44. Okay, right, for the second half. Okay, second half 就是 desirability of firms. So we see a lot of efficiencies. Okay, right, and let's see whether we have time to do one tiny little case study before we go home. Okay, but all the answers, I'll select some answers, I'll put it online, even though we have not discussed it, but not all 14. Okay, with this, okay, have a good break. I'll see you in an hour's time. All right, 5:45. Okay, right, bye bye.